minimum of oral skill for four that's allowed on television. My guest this week, as usual, my two regular stalwarts. On my left, captain of the London team, a man who's not just a gigolo, but also a savage wit and raconteur, television's very own Tony Slattery.
Thank you very much. And I have with me a man who deserves no introduction. I'm sorry, who needs no introduction. He's been a disc jockey all his life, and he's only fallen off the once. He is the wonderful Tony Blackburn.
My other regular guest, on my right, captain of the Midland team, a man that's closely associated with supermarkets as baked beans, automatic doors, and trolleys with wonky wheels. Thank
you. And with me, I have a man whose talents are so varied that he could easily be mistaken for London Palladium. He's one of television's countless band of musical nuclear physicists, comedy improvisers. It's Dr. Richard Vranch. Yeah.
Well, those are our four panelists, and they're going to play just a minute. They're going to try and make points for themselves, and the one who has the most at the end, of course, will be adjudged to be the winner. But most important, the scores of each team will be added together, and will it be London or will it be the Midlands who will triumph for this week? You'll find out if you stay with us. And I'm going to ask them to speak, if they can, on the subject that I give them. And they will try and do that without hesitation, repetition, or deviating from the subject. The other three can challenge them at any time they wish. And if I agree with the challenge, well, then they score points. If not, their opponents get them. It all becomes very clear as we play the game. And we're going to begin the show this week with Dale Winton. Dale, the subject I have in front of me is having a double. Can you tell us something about that in this game, starting now?
I always enjoy a double, and I will enjoy one particularly after... Oh, no!
Repetition of enjoy.
Yes, you're right. That was a correct challenge. Repetition, so you have a point for a correct challenge. You take over the subject, having a double, 57 seconds, starting now.
Vodka, that's my tipple. Well, that and terps, obviously. Mets also, depending on whether it's the weekend or midweek. You see, what I like to do with my double shot, as they call, because I used to work in a bar, so I know the lingo, is that I first put in a base of milk, then mix it up with some cherries, just a little fabric conditioner, and then whatever comes to hand in the kitchen area. I've got a lovely leatherette bar in my lounge at home. It's a through walkway type sitting room.
Tony Blackburn,
I just wanted to say hello. Lovely. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you. No, that's right. You haven't played the game before. Tony's played it quite a lot. It was nice to hear from you. It was an incorrect challenge. You've given your partner another point, so you're doing very well. Very clever of you.
Thank you, Tony.
Tony, 26 seconds having a double starting now.
I like to relax with some of...
Right, Richard Vranch.
There was a hesitation.
Definitely, Richard. Yes, you've got in with 11 seconds ago. The subject is still having a double, starting now.
If you have a double, then you might walk along the street and see someone coming towards you who looks exactly the same as you.
Dale.
It was you twice. It was having a double look like you, and then you saw it. I'm sorry.
Well,
You
listen,
were seeing
Dale.
double, literally.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, listen, and you've got a point. So 3 seconds are left. Well done. Having a double, starting now.
Vodka, gin, beer, anything.
You challenge first, Richard.
There's a bit of a hesitation before beer.
There was a bit of a hesitation.
You could
drive a bus through it.
I don't like to mix my drinks too quickly.
I wouldn't worry, Dale, because though Richard challenged you, he's not going to get the point for himself. He gets the point for your team. So, Richard, you have 1 second on having a double, starting now.
Having a double at the end of the...
When that whistle goes, it tells us that 60 seconds are up, and whoever is speaking in that particular moment gains an extra point. On this occasion with Richard Vranch. He's taken the lead at the end of the round. Tony, the subject, I don't know why they've chosen this for you, is corn.
No.
Can you tell us something about that subject in this game, starting now?
Corn has got to be the major part of the British continent.
Dale, yes.
Well, I mean, hesitation.
Yeah,
It was, yes,
yeah.
indeed.
It was.
Corn is with you now. 55 seconds, Dale, starting now.
Corn is one of the most popular vegetables you can buy. You can have it tinned. It appears in supermarkets on the fresh fruit and vegetable stand and goes deliciously with tuna fish. Personally, I prepare the dish with tuna fish.
Too much tuna fish, I'm
I
afraid.
know.
Some man on the tuna, right. 42 seconds for corn with you, Tony, starting now.
Corn is a useful byword for anything that's slightly twee, fey, and generally de mauvaise qualité, as they say in France. That's a French expression.
What's challenging for, Tony?
I thought it was hesitation.
No, he wasn't. He's just laughing at his own
I
joke.
wasn't laughing. I wasn't laughing, it was wind.
Well, that as well.
Anyway, you weren't hesitating, so I disagree with the challenge. No, I disagree with the challenge, I'm afraid, Tony. He gets another point, but your team also gets a point, and Tony continues, 34 seconds. Corn starting now.
Corn means a particularly sort of unfunny kind of humour. I don't know why Mr. Parsons springs to mind. It's not necessarily that Nick is the physical embodiment of all that is universally regarded as corn. But I think you look back to things like Sale of the Century and I...
Yes, you challenge, Tony.
Well, he was... deviation.
I thought it was deviation.
Definitely he was deviating.
And he was having a go at you.
Well, that was deviation, wasn't it? I mean, the things he was saying are pure deviation.
Yes.
18 seconds on corn starting now.
A lot of people consider that I've built my entire career over the last 30 years on corn. This is absolute...
Tony.
That is deviation. It's not a lot of people, it's everyone.
It's an unfair challenge.
Very strongly to that.
Don't worry, Tony, I'm not going to give it to him. What I will do is I will give him a bonus point because the audience enjoyed the challenge. But as it's completely untrue, I will then give you a point because you were interrupted,
Okay.
and you have another point for that. You have 12 seconds to continue on corn, starting now.
One of the cleverest comedians that pervades corn has got to be Ken Dodd. The amazing thing about him, of course, is that he can go on talking about corn and indeed delivering some terrific jokes hour on end.
Oh, yes, you got in half a second before.
Well,
I'll never play your record again.
Well, I'd be grateful if you wouldn't.
Dale made a record.
Yes.
I certainly did.
Allegedly.
Got to number 62 in the charts, but we'll pass on that.
I would like to know your challenge, actually,
There
rather
was
than
a
your record.
hesitation. There was a definite... There was
No, I disagree. Tony, you have another point. You have half a second on corn. Starting now.
Corn has...
Right.